Hello Deverners, welcome back to part 2 of our special rosette card that we're making. We've made the first, if you've just watched the first video, we've made, I hope you're well by the way, I hope you're having a really productive time at home, you're being really helpful and you're all getting on really well. That would be really nice. This is a nice thing to do. Crafting makes people feel happy, makes me feel happy. I like making cards and I like playing with paper and material and all sorts of things like that. So I said in my last video that we'll make a little card with the rosette that we've just made. So if you want to see how to make that, then you have to go back to the first video. This is part 1 of it and this is now part 2. So once we have our little flower, this is my cat flower that I've just made with you, and we're going to make it into a card. So what you need, obviously you need a card to make a card out of. So I've got a pre-made card which has a fold in the middle, but if you had a piece of paper, a piece of card that you had at home, and you fold it in half, whatever size you're going to make, you don't have to make it a specific size. It can be a very small card, it can be a card that size. I've got one which is long and skinny, so you've got all different sizes. So it depends on what sort of card you have that you can use at home. And what you need is to have, I like to have something on the back, a piece of backing paper. So I have cut a piece of backing paper which is a little bit smaller than the card itself, so I can see this nice little white section around the outside. And I've used some of these fancy scissors because I happen to have them to make a fancy edge, but you could do it with straight ones. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to stick this down. You might need a little bit of help with this. All of these things you might need a little bit of help with, but it's quite nice to do this with a grown-up because they like doing these sort of things as well. A bit like playing with paper. It's fun for everybody. So, and being crafty is a really nice, relaxing way to enjoy a little while being creative. So that's my glue. I wouldn't use the white school glue, this PVA glue, because it really is very messy. This sort of glue is better. And put it in the middle and just smooth it out so that you don't get any bumps and lumps. We don't want bumps and lumps in our work. Okay, so that's my first part of it. Now the second thing I was going to put on here is I'm going to have to decide where my rosette is going to go. So my rosette is going to go into the middle there, but I'm looking for a piece of something to go underneath it. Just hold on a second. Okay, so I found a little piece. You could put a little piece of card. This one here has got a piece of pink card going down the centre. Now you can put this onto in all sorts of different ways. So I've got, in fact on this one as well, I've got the same thing. I've got a piece of pink card that goes down the middle. But I found a little piece of patterned paper, which is quite nice, and it's got little flowers on it. So you could use a strip of this if I cut it first, that would be useful. Right, so I'm going to cut along, so I have a little strip. This could be anything. Talking about paper, you could use paper from magazines to make these little rosettes and cards. You could actually use newspaper because you've got nice little bits of writing on it. You could use a tatty old book you've got. You could have a go at experimenting with all sorts of bits of paper, just as I said before, as long as it isn't too thick, because then you're going to struggle to fold it. So I'm going to put a little piece there, so I need to see how long it is. If I turn it over, and I want it to go from the top to the bottom, so I'm just going to put a little line. I could join my line up so that I get a straight line, because cutting things straight is something that is a little bit tricky for everybody. Mrs Whitehouse struggles as well as everybody else. And then we just cut that bit off. And that is going to go, I think I'm going to put it over here. Where's my that's my opening part. So just remember where my opening section is. I'm going to stick that along there, and then my flower is going to go here, and then I've got a little greeting to go in there. So what I tend to do is sort of have a go at planning what it's going to look like. So don't just stick everything down first off. Have a go, lay it out. You might not like it like that. You might think, actually, I'm going to have it going a different way. I might have it going that way. So you can have a little play around before you've stuck it down, and then you don't spoil the card that you're making because you've had a little go. I've even used an iPad to take a photograph of it, so I've got a couple of ideas and then I'll choose one. So you can use your little bits of technology to plan your card. So I actually prefer it as it was before, so I'm going to move that over there. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when it's finished. So I'm going to stick this down. Try not to get too gluey. If you had a piece of newspaper or something underneath your work, to stop glue getting everywhere, because that will spoil your work and other things. So I'm going to stick it down there. Okay, and then I turn my flower over, and this is the bit that we stuck it on. Can you remember we stuck all the little sections onto it? So this is the bit you're not actually going to see. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. Bring it back and stick it there. And then this is my message. So that's going to be stuck on there, and it says, "To someone special." Now you can cut greetings off old cards. If you're a person like Mrs Whitehouse, she keeps all sorts of bits and pieces for using on other things, because it's a bit like recycling, isn't it? Reusing, which is a really nice thing. So if you've got some cards, people might give you cards for your birthday, or to people in your family for their birthdays, and you can cut out the little greetings and save them in a little place somewhere special in your craft box. And when you want to make a card, you've got a little ready-made professional sticker that you could stick on there. Some people have sticky labels with names on and greetings and all those sorts of things. So that is our little card made in a similar way to this one, which is how we started this. And I hope you've enjoyed doing that, and I'd love to see some of you when we're back at school. I'd love to see if some of you have made some really nice things. I'd love to have a little look at them, because I like seeing what people do with their crafty things. I've also just spotted before I go that I have a few little flowers here, which I could also add as little flowers onto my card. So you could add other things onto what we have here. You could have something sparkly on there to give it a bit of a wow factor. So it's up to you. It's your card. It's your design. I've just shown you how to make the basic flower to go in the middle. You can even put a little gem in the middle here, a little sparkly something in the middle. So have fun with it, chaps. I'll see you again soon with another crafty make. As I say, stay well, enjoy the sunshine if you can, look after each other, remember to wash your hands and stay at home, and we'll see you soon. Bye.